Welcome back to another episode of More Movie Talks. I'm Nate, that's Scott. Today we are seeing Atomic Blonde. So, does this movie look like a typical action movie or looks somewhat unique or interesting?
Well, when we first saw the trailer for this, and they were hyping it up saying it was from one of the directors of John Wick, we thought, awesome, she's going to be a female sort of John Wick type character, and it's going to be in the same universe, and it's all going to cross over because we're big John Wick fans, and we were just delighted. But now it turns out, no, this is based off of a graphic novel story. It takes place in the 80s. It's, so it's not tied in at all.
Sadly.
So I think the action's gonna be good, but, supposedly there is a story behind it. And, I lived through the Cold War shit. So, yeah, it was an interesting time and everybody was kind of passively terrified, but, I don't know that that's gonna translate that well nowadays. If it's, if they're like, hey, come see this crazy action flick, that's for younger people. And I don't know that younger people are gonna even understand what the fuck the Cold War was about. Do you know anything about what the Cold War was about? You have any idea? I know you've heard the term, probably.
Yeah, I've heard the term, but they didn't teach it well in school.
Right. So, so any sort of story or any gravity behind the story they're trying to tell from that era will probably be lost on the target demographic for the movie. So, I don't know. It may just be, a super action movie. And that may be all it is. But, I don't know. Well, there's a potential for us to hear a bunch of good 80s songs, maybe. That would be cool. But, anyway,
Who all's in this?
Well, Charlize Theron is the main character. And then you got James McAvoy. I'm assuming he's like another spy.
I hope he's good in this.
I'm sure he will be. Somebody plays like her boss. There's the scene where she's getting debriefed.
That's
those guys?
John Goodman.
John Goodman? Okay, John Goodman's one. Oh, and then isn't it Toby What's-His-Face? He's in it too.
The dude from Captain America?
Yeah. Isn't he one of them? Okay. So you got John Goodman, Toby What's-His-Face, James McAvoy, Charlize Theron, and then Sophia Boutella. She plays like another spy. I guess everybody in this movie is a spy or a government guy. But from the trailer, I can't really divine what the plot is. I'm assuming some bad guy killed a guy she knew, and she's supposed to go find the bad guy, maybe? I'm sure there's a nefarious plot attached to said bad guy, and she ends up stopping it along the way, or something. From what I can gather from a brief description of the graphic novel, there's a list that reveals the identity of every covert operative, which is oddly reminiscent of one of the Mission Impossible movies. Is it the first one?
I haven't seen the first one. I've seen the third and everyone else.
I think it's the first one. It's the same damn thing. There's a list that, and you kind of wonder why something like this would ever exist, but it's supposed to be, the full information and identity of every secret agent in the world, or some nonsense like that. And I think that's the same sort of thing that this story deals with. Somebody steals this list, and maybe they start killing agents, and they kill this guy who she knew, so they call her in and they say, you gotta find whoever's got this list, whoever's doing this, blah blah whatever. So there you go. That's, I guess, the crux of the story.
I don't really have much else to say about this except...
Well, we've got about 10 miles to go, so you need to say something.
Yeah, this is kind of nitpicky for me.
What?
But, if you watch the trailer again, all the colors and stuff are kind of reminiscent of John Wick.
Well, but I feel like they gave it a drab look. It's supposed to take place place in like Eastern Europe in the 80s, and it
like
was
near Berlin.
and it was just drab as fuck, and just, you know, that whole Iron Curtain situation. Yeah, it was just kind of it's really a depressing time for those people. So I think they're trying to give you that feel by making it a really kind of gray and drab sort of palette.
Which is fine. I kind of like that palette if they do it right. So
I think it's just a storytelling thing. They just want it to feel drab and depressing.
Charlize Theron said something that you and I both sort of went, oh, she on the Daily Show. She said something about a staircase scene.
Yeah, what about it?
She didn't say what all happens in it, but it kind of makes...
You've seen part of that staircase scene in the trailer.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think of the John Wick staircase deal. Or when he's in the club or whatever.
No. What did she say on there that made you go, oh?
It was just her talking about the staircase scene, and it kind of made me think of John Wick, thinking it would be one of those walk into a room and annihilate every single person in there.
No. The staircase scene she's talking about, it's just a fight scene with her and a couple people on a staircase. You've seen probably the bulk of it in the trailer.
Damn.
Yeah. No, the staircase scene you're talking about from John Wick, I just think it's a cool shot because it transitions from one room to the other, and there's this big rave or whatever going on, and all the crazy lights and shit, the techno music, and it's just the way it's shot with him kind of going down those stairs in slow motion. I think it's just a cool scene. Yeah, with the strobe and shit.
That was a good scene.
Or Alfie Allen's running through all fucking in the towel and shit, and he's just kind of calmly walking down the stairs. I just think it's pretty cool, man. I just like that shot. Oh shit, we're supposed to turn there. God damn it all, now we gotta go down and turn the fuck around. Oh, son of a bitch, we got plenty of time. What time does this movie start?
1:30.
Yeah, we'll be alright. Son of a bitch, man, I was sitting here running my mouth, talking about fucking pretty shot from John Wick. Now I gotta go all the way down and turn around. Son of a bitch! Fuck it, we're not using this. Cut this out.
I think we should use it.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But I'm trying to think of the Charlize Theron movies I've seen. Yeah, the last Charlize Theron movie I saw was Fast and Furious 8, so I'm just hoping she'll do super well in this, and I really think she will. So.
Yeah, and I don't know. See, that's where the fact that this is based off a graphic novel comes in. I don't know much about the story. I don't know if it's like a finite sort of one and done thing for that character. You know, I mean, if she does this and it's really awesome and shit, it would be nice for this to be a repeatable sort of character. You know, let's tell more stories based on this character. But if it's just like a, you know, one story that it's like, here, no, 221 is the first thing. Then that would be kind of a shame, you know?
Yeah.
For them to create this cool character that everybody loves, and especially, you know, a female character, and then not have the chance to
use her again.
To continue on with it. That would be kind of a shame. That's why I was really hoping it was same universe as John Wick, because that seems really popular, and, you know, I was like, okay, cool. It'd be not necessarily that they would have to team up or anything, but it's just like, let's keep it going, because I'm all for them making John Wick movies until Keanu Reeves is dead, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, fuck, you know, let's have a whole bunch of this character too, but that's my worry, that I'm going to get in here and it's going to be fabulous and I'm going to love it, but there's going to be no chance for a sequel. I don't know, that would suck. But...
Yeah. I was really hoping, you know, she'd be like one of John's partners from the past or something like that. Or...
Yeah, but but this takes place in the 80s,
Yeah.
apparently. So that's kind of lame.
If only if it wasn't based on a graphic novel.
Well, that's fine, you know.
Yeah.
It's just,
But
just the fact that it's, I mean, it's basically, it's set in the real world because this is a real time period, and I don't know if they're going to tie it into real events or what, but
that'd be kind of cool if they did.
but you know, if it's great and they were going to make a sequel or something, of course it would have to take place in the 80s as well. And you know, I mean, how much it would have to be, she would have to be a great character, and it would have to be a superb movie for them to just go off book and just continue with this, you know,
And then put her in a John Wick
stuff happening in an 80s landscape. Well, a John Wick takes place in the modern day, man. You're gonna age up Charlize Theron 30 years to be in a John Wick movie? Come on, it's gotta be some realism here. Let's not forget what we're talking about in here. Almost 40 years. Jeez, that's, I mean,
She'd still be in fighting condition.
come on, man.
Have hope.
Have hope. If I make this left-hand turn, there's gonna be nowhere for me to go unless those people get their asses out of the way. This is gonna suck, man. This is like the worst place to try to turn. Look at this dickhead. I'm just gonna sit here. Don't mind me.
I think that's pretty much all we can say about this movie before we see it.
I don't know. You want to ramble about anything else? I mean, we're here. The camera's rolling. All right, that's turning red. Stop. All right. Okay, great, cool. Hey, look, there is a little bit of room.
Sweet.
Now I gotta sit here for another 5 minutes. Well, I've just screwed the pooch on this video by missing a fucking exit. Now I gotta sit here.
It's fine.
So, if you're watching this, we were toying with the idea of doing videos for the Game of Thrones episodes. If that's something anybody wants to see, just type yes. We're not asking for a paragraph. You don't have to tell us your life story or anything. Just say yes to Game of Thrones episodes, or no to Game of Thrones episodes, or whatever, you know. Because, I mean, you know, go, dude, what the... Oh, for fuck's sake. He just sat there long enough for me to get stopped by everybody else. Alright, this is gonna make some noise.
Sweet Jesus, in a birchwood canoe.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a shitty intersection anyway.
Yeah.
So what's our next movie after this?
After this is Kingsman.
What?
Yeah.
I thought there was something in the middle of August. Oh, Logan Lucky comes out in the middle of August, I think.
I think
Is Kingsman before that?
Yeah.
Because I could have swore I looked at IMDb coming soon, and I didn't see Kingsman before Logan Lucky. I thought Kingsman was coming out in September. Now, just remember, they've moved that movie like 8 times. So it may have moved since the last time you looked at a release date for it.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? Well-behaved women seldom make history.
Huh.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Well-behaved women. Oh, Hitman's body. No, Logan Lucky, then Hitman's bodyguard,
Okay.
and then you want to see Starship Troopers Trader of Mars?
No.
Aw.
Yeah. If I got some free passes, maybe. But I'm not paying to see that shit.
Oh yeah, we already used it.
Use what? We've got 2 free passes.
Oh, okay.
I using today? Oh no, I already bought tickets today. Fuck.
It is in September. I kind of want to see that. American Assassin is in September. Kingsman is in September. Okay.
Man, they have moved that movie so many times. I swear, on the movie list, I have scribbled that thing out like 5 or 6 times and moved it. They need to make up their damn mind and just leave it.
We're gonna have a...
That makes me think they're worried about it. Worried about how it's gonna perform, and they keep trying to put it in a dead spot. It's like, damn, man, you spent so much time and money on this fucking movie. If it's that bad that you don't want any competition, ugh.
Blade Runner's in October.
I want to say it picks back up in October.
Yeah, Blade Runner, Halloween, if you've ever...
What?
Halloween.
Another Halloween movie?
Yeah.
Is this another Rob Zombie movie, or?
This one is directed by Cole V. Blodden and Jeffrey J. Moore. And they're also co-writers.
What is the deal with all of these fucking movies?
Okay, they're the writers.
With all these movies now that have 2 directors. How the hell's that work?
I don't know.
Do they just split the production into 2 units and they each film shit at the same time, or?
We got Snowman.
The Snowman. That looks kind of interesting. I would mind seeing that.
Leatherface.
Oh Jesus! Another Texas Chainsaw movie.
Geostorm.
Geostorm.
I remember seeing trailers for that a while ago.
It looks stupid.
Yeah.
Well, okay, wait. I saw that initial trailer, and it looked like a TV movie kind of quality thing, right?
Yeah.
It looked like that Atomic Tornado kind of quality shit.
Yeah.
But then, I want to say like a week or 2 ago, I saw a new trailer. And this was all like Jerry Butler on a space station kind of shit.
I didn't see that one.
And it looked completely different. And I was like, what the fuck's all this shit? So, Derek Dragonfly. Go ahead, kids. Don't get hit by a car.
We got Jigsaw.
Yeah, I don't care.
Suburbicon.
You know, Suburbicon looks like it might be... If I see another trailer for that looks more charming, I might be interested to see it, you know? I mean, I'm a big Clooney fan, and I'm interested in seeing him direct something quality. And I like Matt Damon, but it's just, you know, I think if that movie has more charm in it than the first trailer showed, I might be interested in seeing it.
Yeah. Then we got Thor Ragnarok in November.
That's no brainer right there.
A Bad Mom's Christmas.
I gotta see that because you saw it already.
Yeah.
And I'd like to somehow, you know, I don't know if it's gonna be on Netflix or some shit like that, but I'd like to somehow see that, and then maybe we could go see the Christmas one.
I love Christmas movies, so.
Well, we try to see a Christmas themed movie every year. Last year we saw what was the one called with Jennifer Aniston?
Oh, that was
Office Christmas Party.
Yeah.
And that wasn't bad. I mean, it was a decent little, you know,
comedy.
Good waste of a couple hours, and it had funny stuff and all that. I mean, it's not going to win any Academy Awards, but,
right.
But it was good, you know. And it was better than what was the one we saw before that? The Night Before. That was kind of just.
I kind of like that one, but
we talked about that. The Night Before looked like it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's like Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Anthony Mackie got together and wrote a movie for themselves to be in, and they sat back when they were done and looked at it and were like, ugh, this isn't very good. And so they called Seth Rogen and said, hey man, we wrote this script and it kind of sucks, so why don't you come and write yourself in and do a bunch of cool shit to make the movie funny. That's what it was like.
Yeah.
That's a nice Challenger.
Mm-hmm.
That it really felt like that because it did feel like it was one thing, and then Seth Rogen came in and doctored the shit up to try to make it marketably funny.
Yeah.
I
read somewhere there was supposed to be a sequel to that, but
The Night Before?
Yeah.
Oh God, I hope not.
It got shut down.
What a waste that would be. Well, Seth Rogen's working on something else now. What is he working
Disaster Artist.
on? No. I want to say there's like an actual project he's doing. Was it a TV show or?
Oh, it's like a Hulu show.
I don't know.
But anyway, along with a bunch of blabbing, that was our before review.
Anyway, we're here. We gotta go.
Yeah. And before review of Atomic
I wasted
Blonde.
a bunch of time.
So, we will see you after the movie.
I can't get my finger.
Welcome to the after review of Atomic Blonde. I'm gonna go backwards with this.
What?
Backwards with my notes.
Backwards. Okay.
Okay, was this movie good or bad?
Oh man, you're not even just gonna let me have an opening statement or anything? That movie made me want to smoke a cigarette so bad. Oh my god, man. Jesus Christ. I mean, I knew taking place in the 80s, yeah, everybody was gonna be smoking and shit. But damn. Talk about lingering shots of motherfuckers lighting a cigarette.
Especially that end shot where you see her at the end just almost rubbing it in your face.
Yeah. Ugh, you want to smoke, don't you? Golly.
But if you notice, I think only 2 people in that movie smoked. Her and James McAvoy.
You know, I don't say this often, but there weren't enough people in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, there weren't. I mean, there's plenty of henchmen and shit. But as far as main characters,
Yeah.
there weren't enough to where this whole thing about, ooh, who's the double agent? Who's the blue? You know, they gave you 2 choices. You know? It was kind of like, okay, well, you go through believing it's one, you go through believing it's the other, and in the end, you're just like, you know what? Fuck, I know it's one of them. Fuck, and now I don't care. What the hell's that guy just? Oh, that's a dick move. Yeah, anyway, okay, go ahead. It made me want to smoke, for sure. So go ahead. What are your questions now?
I just asked if it was good or bad.
What do you think?
Well, I'll say it was okay. It felt kind of slow, and there were a few dead spots.
It did feel slow, but I don't know if I could pick out a dead spot. I mean, there's always something happening. But it did feel slow.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, all the action-y stuff didn't seem that spectacular to me. I want to say it was the score that the music that let it down. I mean, yeah, sure, great, it's in the 80s, throw in a bunch of 80s music, but I don't know that it was really appropriate to convey any sort of feeling or emotion as to what's going on, you know? What was the one, there was one where she's at the dude's apartment, and she turns the music up when the guys come in,
Yeah.
And what fucking song was playing there? I can't remember. But it was the complete wrong choice. It just, for that fight sequence, it just wasn't right. And you felt that the whole time you're watching. I was like, okay, but this song it's just not appropriate. It's not doing anything for the scene.
I don't think any of the music did anything for any of the scenes.
Well, all it did was, this is the 80s, this is the 80s, this is taking place in the 80s. You remember the 80s?
Yeah.
That's all it did. It didn't enhance anything. It just, I don't know, man. I mean, there was some cool songs in there, but they just didn't do what they needed to do at the time they were playing them. And I don't know. You were definitely right about the color palette. I mean, it was pretty drab throughout the entire fucking film. But that's okay. But, you know, what was I gonna say? I wanted to say there's some good use of light in the movie. Everything's really well lit. But the cinematography was boring as fuck. There were no great shots. I mean, it was just pretty cut and dried.
Yeah, the fight scenes were typical fight scenes. Well,
but I mean, like, there was no you know, when they were setting up shots, nobody ever stood back and went, you know what would look great? I mean, practically, I know what we're doing in this shot, but you know what would look great? Nobody was looking at that movie with an eye for, let's do a nice shot. Let's do a great shot. It was all just very
meh.
Yeah, and with it being kind of slow, and the score, the music not helping it, and the fact that there aren't many characters to spread out that who's the double agent kind of thing. I don't know. I felt like maybe at least something good to look at would have made it more enjoyable to me, but I just sitting there watching it, I felt like I just wasn't having a good time.
Yeah. And this is weird, when John Wick first started up, you and I were both like, eh. But then once it got going, it never stopped. It felt like this movie never really got going.
Yeah, I can see that.
It didn't really hold my interest, really.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, you're watching it, and it's not necessarily holding your interest. It's not making you interested for what's going to happen next. But it would have been nice to at least be looking at something visually interesting.
Yeah.
Because it was just... did you see those people get up and walk out?
Yeah.
I was like, damn!
And that's the second time in a row. What was the last movie we saw?
Valerian. Those people left.
Those people left. And then another couple left during this movie. So...
Yeah, I just... oh, God, I think they were just bored, probably.
Yeah.
They left right before the lesbian sex scene. I mean, damn. What a time to take off.
Yeah. If you're going to make an action movie, one thing I always look for is the fight choreography. Because if you do that well, it's fine.
Okay, look, I don't know that there was anything wrong with the fight choreography.
It was just slow.
Except for the one time when after she fights all those dudes in the apartment, and then she's downstairs, the little scene from the trailer where they come up behind her, and she puts her little turtleneck up over her face. That fight was your typical stupid Hollywood fight where she punches one guy, and then he stands there and patiently waits for her to beat the other guy up so she can come back and punch him again, you know? It was like, oh, that doesn't look... But all the other fights, like the two guys in the stairwell, and, you know, many of the other fights were pretty good as far as, like, you know, their choreography, use of weapons, all that stuff. And, you know, a lot of it was pretty brutal. Nobody gets punched 100 times and walks away with a normal face. Everybody's got scars and they're fucked up, and people's fucking lips are swollen after fights, and, you know, I mean, all that was pretty good. You know, people's clothes are bloody and shit, and all that was pretty good. So as far as the choreography goes, I think it was well done. It just, some of it wasn't shot worth a shit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, some of the sequences seem like a cameraman just stood in the corner and just, you know, it wasn't set up with an eye for making the action really come across.
Yeah, he didn't use camera movements to his advantage.
Some of it did. I mean, that...
Very little of it.
You know what I think? I get the feeling that somebody was wanting to make a lot of this shit feel like it was continuous shot.
Yeah.
When it wasn't, but they wanted it to feel like it. I think this guy, whoever directed this, I think is a fan of, what's the guy's name? Inarritu, the guy who did Birdman.
Oh,
I think he was like, yeah, let's make this feel like it's all continuous shots and shit, you know. I want like 6 cuts in this movie. And it just, I don't know. Especially the fight sequences, some of them were like that. But there was a sequence when she's in the car with Eddie Marsden, and they're driving, and it looks like the camera's like this, mounted here, and then it kind of comes and twists, and it sits in the back of the car, and you see shit, and then it comes back forward, and I was watching that, and I was like, I wonder how the fuck they did that.
Yeah, that was kind of neat.
It was almost like they had a camera on a rig riding a rail.
That may have been how they did it.
I don't know. I think a lot of it was CG because, you couldn't get a camera rig in there in that tiny little car to move like that between two people. Just, I mean, that was a pretty cool shot. I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. I mean, it wasn't beautiful, but it was interesting. You know, I was like, man, I wonder how they did that. I think it was probably a couple sequences spliced together, but yeah, man. I mean, anyway, go ahead.
I'll say the acting was good. Everyone was good in it.
Everyone was pretty good in it. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about any of the actors. I don't know if anything really stands out to me, though. Yeah, everybody was really good. Charlize was really good. I don't know that anything really stands out that she did.
I think
McAvoy was really good, but, you know, I mean, he's good at
almost everything.
He's good at yelling and shit.
Yeah, like this is kind of funny because ever since I saw Split, I've been, anytime I see James McAvoy in a trailer or a movie, I'm like, yes, this is the guy. He's who I want cast as everybody.
Oh, I mean, he's good. Yeah,
he's
really
great.
good.
But
I don't know. I mean,
he didn't spit when he yelled this time.
I don't want to say it was a crappy movie, but I don't want to say it was a great movie.
I'm not impressed.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like if I tried to check boxes of things I liked about the movie, I don't know that I would check a lot of boxes, but if you wanted me to check boxes of shit I hated about the movie, I don't know that I'd check a lot of boxes either.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of shit I think could be done better. One of the biggest things is the music let me down.
Yeah.
I think the cinematography let me down. But all the acting was good.
Yeah.
And the story was, I don't know, I'd like to read that book because,
There's probably more.
again, I think you could probably tell that story better. I'd like to see how the book did it.
How do you think they portrayed the era, like the point in time?
Eastern Europe, Cold War, Berlin. I guess it was all right. I think you probably would have seen more of a military presence, though. Lots of cops and shit, but this just seemed like all these motherfucking spies just had free reign to run around and do whatever the hell they wanted. You know, it was just
Pretty
like,
much.
yeah, I thought the Iron Curtain was a little more regimented on the other side there, but
They've got guns.
they've got guns. But there wasn't cops on street corners. There wasn't a whole lot of police presence. But again, this was like in the last days, you know, before the wall fell, and
Yeah.
so I don't know. I mean,
There was only one cop in that movie.
I was pretty young and uninterested at the time, but that's a nice grill. Yeah, it just seemed like they were all just able to run around with ease and do whatever the fuck they wanted.
Yeah, and one thing I don't like about action movies, there were a bunch of scenes where you're in an apartment right next to someone else's.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they could be like watching TV, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden they hear banging and smashing and gunshots.
Yeah, nobody calls the Gestapo. Nobody. What's going on over there? No, none of that shit. Every building was abandoned. There's no other people. There's no cops. There's nothing.
They
You know,
had no
Yeah,
interruptions.
it's like once there's a gunshot, what's the response time for, you know, the secret police to show up? I mean, come on, man. Nope, and there's just people walking around with blood all over them and shit like that.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
And nobody bats an eye.
Yeah,
So,
it's just like, this just doesn't, I don't know.
I think it would make the story more interesting, or the movie more interesting if stuff like that happened. But
Well, it would have made it a lot longer, and it would have made a lot of that shit that happened pretty implausible, because that's what I'm saying. I'd like to compare it to the book.
Yeah.
I keep saying book, the graphic novel, whatever, but just to see how it plays out. But yeah, the whole time I was watching it, because I had plenty of time to think.
Yeah.
The whole time I was watching it, I was like, man, what am I gonna say about this? It's not terrible, but it's not great.
That's what I was thinking.
It's kind of boring, but it's not. But they're showing me shit. But I don't know. I just it was unsatisfying. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's not terrible, but it's not great.
So.
And it seems bad to say that.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, everybody in the movie's good.
Yeah.
They all did a great job. This is a clear case of people behind the scenes let this movie down. It wasn't the actors or any, they all did a great job. But I think just the way it was put together left me with kind of a bad taste. I was like, meh.
Yeah, I think it was the script, man. That's, like, they all did good with what they were given, but it just sort of fell flat.
Yeah, it was kind of a flat movie.
So, out of 10, what do you give it?
See, that's hard because, like I said, it wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. So, I mean, does that mean I give it a 5 and just put it in the middle just because? I mean,
I may give it a 4.5.
Here's the thing. What did we give that Valerian movie?
Oh, we gave it a...
I gave it a 3.5 and you gave it a 4?
Yeah.
And I think subconsciously, this is where the whole visual thing comes back around. If I was sick on the couch, and that Valerian movie was on Netflix or some shit like that.
Came on TV.
I mean, sitting here after, I've seen that movie, and sitting here, I'd be like, I have no interest in seeing it again. But I would probably click on that and watch some of it before I would click on this and watch some of it.
Really?
Because at least that was visually entertaining, you know? It's just something to look at there. Whereas this is just, I was let down by the story, and I'll remember that. So I wouldn't turn it on for that, but I know that the visuals have let me down too. So I'd just be like, yeah, I have no reason to watch that. I really don't have a reason to watch Valerian again, but at least it's visually appealing, There's some cool stuff to look at in it. So so both movies, I would probably click Valerian on, but I only gave that a 3.5.
Yeah.
So how can I give this a 5 if I wouldn't even click on this, But okay, everybody in Valerian was just shit.
Yeah.
The acting in that movie was pretty tough. I mean, I think Rihanna was the best actress in that movie, okay?
She was only in it for like 10 minutes.
But, I think she was probably the best actor in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
This, everybody's great. They just, it's all the behind the scenes shit that ultimately lets it down for me. So, yeah, I guess in good conscience, I could give this a higher score, even though I wouldn't click on it. And I'm just being picky, too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a movie dick. But, so I would probably comfortably give that a 5. But anybody else who just, wants to be entertained or whatever, could maybe look at that as a 6.5.
Maybe, yeah.
Because, if people want different things out of movies, some people might be able to watch that thing with, it's just fine. Oh yeah, it's a good movie, yeah, it's pretty cool, blah, blah, blah.
It's a good way to waste some time, I guess.
I don't know if it's a good one, but it's not terrible, but for me, the only thing good about it is the acting.
Mm-hmm.
I think story-wise, that story could have been told better. And I think it could be more visually appealing for sure. I understand wanting to portray, you know, East Berlin as gloomy and all repressive, and that's fine with your color palette, but you got to realize that by doing that, if you're just going to shoot it plain vanilla, it's going to be drab as fuck looking, and that's what it was. Visually, it was just blah to me. You got any more notes? You got more question type stuff?
The only real note I had was, did having a director from John Wick help it? But
No. Well, okay, here's what I understand. And again, it's the two-director thing. I think two guys directed John Wick.
right.
Then, when John Wick 2 came around, I want to say the two guys again started it. One of them left to do this movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and apparently the story is they were like fight choreographers at first, stuntmen, choreographer type guys, and they worked on tons of movies, and then, you know, they did John Wick as directors, but they still did all the choreography and shit like that. And, you know, John Wick was a surprise hit, so then they signed up to do 2, and then, you know, they went, one of them left or whatever. I don't know if he worked on that and then left, or if we were talking about it and he just split off before it even started, but he went off to do this. So, you know, again, with that whole, it looked like it was shot plain vanilla, the cinematography wasn't very exciting. I think maybe that's because this guy isn't very experienced, or, dare I say, a very good director. I mean, he just doesn't have what it takes. Maybe the other guy was most of the talent in that directing duo. I don't know. What were we talking about that on camera, or was it when we were walking in when I was talking about the two director thing? I just don't understand why all these movies nowadays have to have two directors.
I think we're on camera.
Yeah. I just, I don't know, man. But apart, I mean, I'd have to go back and rewatch John Wick 2, but it seemed to me like it had the feel of the first movie.
Yeah.
Whereas this, no. This is not on par with the Wick movies.
Nowhere close.
So yeah, maybe out of that duo, one of them was way more talented than the other. Or I don't know. But that's why it seems to me, because yeah, this wasn't subpar.
Well, I guess that's all I got.
About this movie, yeah, I guess. I mean, I hate that it seems like we keep sitting here bragging on these movies. It'd be nice to see a good one.
Well,
But and when we saw Spider-Man, we were both like, yes, it's awesome, it's fabulous. And then all we did was sit here and just go over the plot of the movie and fuck everything up. We didn't talk about how great it was. So it's like, you know, it'd be nice to see something that was great. But sorry, another bummer video.
yeah, I think with all the good movies we saw, we were bound to at least see it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, well, okay, so Spider-Man was probably the last good one we saw.
Yeah.
And then we liked The Mummy. We saw Wonder Woman before that, right? So we didn't do a video on, what did we do a video on?
I did.
You did a video on Wonder Woman. Yeah, and I want to say there was probably some good ones before that. But it just seems like a lot of these are, yeah.
Yep. Well, that's our review on Atomic Blonde.
Such as it is.
Yeah.
Sorry. I keep saying
Again.
sorry a lot. It's hard.
We rambled for half of this video.
Well, you know, I tried to say stuff that was genuinely a concern us to do Game of Thrones episodes. We can do it, but if nobody's gonna watch it, then fuck it.
We'll make them if you want them, so.
Yeah, so put comment. People are watching this. We know you're watching it, so just put a comment. Damn.
Yeah, we see your views. Come on, just leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe. I need subscribers. I am at 12. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We will talk to you guys later.